Hey there, I'm Jordan, and welcome to a Politics and Intrigue feature spotlight video for Thrones of Britannia. Here we have raised a new army in reaction to a small rebellion in Windermere. Our new young general, Wolfston, however, has low loyalty from the start and might prove a liability to trust, leading a small localised force if not dealt with. Dealing with a problem character can be simple, or it can be very hard with huge repercussions. Using the Intrigue panel, we see we actually have a plethora of options available to us as king in which to try and rectify the situation. Seeking a wife can be a good way to calm the situation at a relatively low cost, but doesn't necessarily guarantee to yield a positive or desired result. In which case, ruling with an iron fist may be better fit for you. Stripping estates, title, their wife, or even political assassination are all options, but be warned, the knock-on effects of such actions can be widespread and largely more damaging than the original problem if you're not prepared for them. Here, we're going to try and secure Wolfston's loyalty at the cost of 1,000 gold to the treasury. He's got eager and immediately pushed his boundaries, wanting an extra 500 coin to secure his loyalty. We could bribe him with words, but it will be at the detriment of my king's influence, which I can't afford. We're going to pay the bribe, and he's gained the suborn trait, but it's better than losing vital influence as king. So you've seen a positive approach, how about we use a negative one? In this scenario, we're going to assassinate Wolfston at a higher cost, but removing him from the picture entirely. We're going to click the assassinate button for 1,250 coin. Oh dear, hunting can be dangerous, can't it? But not dangerous enough, it seems. So Assassin's Arrow only caused Wolfston an unfortunate injury. I do get to replace him as general in the meantime, but he still lives, which means he is a problem for the future and at further cost to the crown. In our third example, although a botched assassination might be a known concern, I'm going to try and massage it. Firstly, I arrange for Wolfston's wife to divorce him in an unexpected turn of events. Now heartbroken, and with a less suspicious situation, I move in and follow up with the assassination again. This time it goes cleanly. He chokes to death while eating, probably crying from the fallout of his failed marriage. A brutal but believable turn of events. Wolfston is removed as a problem, and we bring a new general into the foray. Early game, when you begin to expand, you may find that taking your first few new settlements might see a massive drop in loyalty erupt across your entire court of nobles. This is actually an administrative issue and very easy to fix. Why would loyalty drop across the entire court? Well, if you open your faction window, switch to the Governors tab, and then to the Estates panel, on the map you will see scrolls in certain locales of your kingdom are highlighted showing the current estates that are available, with a crown above them if still automatically owned by the king. Characters will go increasingly unhappy the larger the disparity is between how many estates are taken and owned by the crown against how many are distributed amongst themselves. Award estates evenly and regularly as you continue your conquest to sate your nobles and keep a balanced court of governors and commanders. Note that estates maintain loyalty and give a +1 to influence, whereas being the governor of a region is merely a title alone, but does give the region all the pros and cons that come with the traits of that particular governor. Your king has characteristics like everyone else other than loyalty. Influence is his major deciding factor in Thrones of Britannia. He may have character traits that specifically help, such as this -50 upkeep cost for units in his commanded force. A king should always be the active head of your army. In such a war-torn time, he should lead the way for your people. He also does have starting traits, but the more you use him and make strong decisions and win key battles, the more he gains others. Such as here, he has the impassioned trait, the confident trait, and the war chief trait, all of which give him extra zeal, influence, and command, helping him on and off the battlefield. He has 7 influence, but look, his wife Abby is no small asset either. She gives further benefits to him, in this case the well-connected trait, giving him further bonuses to income, governorship, and influence. Guthrum is influential, but he could be better. An intrigue option only available to a king is Hold Feast. A king's feast! It's political action, and although a pricey one, it ensures that you maintain the influence you need to continue your rule. In this case, +2 influence, but in Guthrum up to a healthy 9 overall. It could also help you in the situation that your influence is lowered as a negative effect to something and needs to be recovered quickly. As king, you need an heir to the throne. But just as you need to be influential to hold the respect of your armies and your people, so does he. Here I have an illegitimate child in Lything, or I have my son Eheric. As Eheric is too young, I'm going to nominate Lything to be my heir to the throne in the Intrigue panel. He is nominated, and everything is set in place. Guthrum has sighted Alfred and his army. Now, more powerful than ever, he moves to settle the score once and for all. Brilliant. He's only gone and died in a decisive defeat. Now, not only must I choose a new commander to head my main fighting force, but now I've also suffered a major blow to the attitude of my people towards further war. I have seen a chain rout in loyalty through all my governors and my commanders. I could be in serious trouble here. The king's bastard, Lything, is unfit for the job. With little to no experience as a governor and even less influence than his father before him, he is going to struggle to maintain rule. Immediately that low influence takes effect. The army comes after you for a bribe. You can secure +3 influence for yourself at the steep cost of all troops being 20% more expensive to upkeep. Refuse, and the new young king hits 0 influence amidst already potential disaster. It doesn't matter anyway. The nation is in uproar about Guthrum's suicide. Marching into the jaws of the enemy, rebellion ensues across the entire land as 5 armies stand in civil war against you. The remainder of your nobles don't look best pleased either. Should have made Anlaf over their king. Probably would have gone a lot better. As king, you can take steps controlling the influence of those around you. Take Gunnar here. 7 influence, 7 loyalty, a 6-star general, and quintessential figurehead to my secondary army. Now Hingwar here. 9 influence, 6 loyalty, and a highly impassioned man and governor with 7 zeal. To try and ensure that Gunnar never sees fit to rise up against me as king if he continues to gain influence, I'm going to strip estates from him in the Intrigue panel to lower his influence. Unsurprisingly, he sees little justification for this action and fights the charge. We fabricate a reason as to why, and to add further insult to injury, we're actually going to revoke his title in office as my king's captain and give it to the noble Karl instead. It's important to note that each office holds a triple buff for the noble it is assigned to, in this case +2 command influence and loyalty. Now Gunnar feels really hard done by. I end the turn, and in over-controlling Gunnar's influence, he's become disloyal, and further to that has gained the vengeful trait, and has began plotting against me. Seeing what happened with Gunnar, let's see what happens if we do the same with the even more influential Governor Hingwar. Let's strip his estates, and although he does not fight the charge, he does immediately lose all his loyalty down to 1. Now we'll do the same and strip his title of office as well as Justicar. Hingwar now hits 0 loyalty, but even after losing both of those things, is still only down to 6 influence. So massive is the sway that he holds amongst the nobles and people of East Engel. Another turn down and Gunnar has already had enough. He stands in civil war against me. And it's worth noting here that a general of any army starting a civil war against you takes exactly 50% of every single unit in that army stack as he starts rallying support. Whereas Hingwar has sallied forth from the fens, has transitioned from governor into general, taken up the sword, and laid siege to Huntingdon. But he only takes a few units with him from the city's garrison, as his army in a civil war attempt has a direct difference. Ruling a kingdom can be a delicate balancing act, so here we're going to show you how to switch governors between provinces. In this case, the people of Steenford are increasingly unsettled with a public order of -11. Over in the east, however, the city of Norfolk is booming, and they carry a +8 public order. So what I'm going to do here is give my governors a little switch up. I'm going to remove Hingwar from office, and I'm going to do the same to Elric over in the Fens. Then I'm going to assign them to each other's provinces. I've allowed 1 turn for the change to take effect, and boom, there we have it. Although Norfolk's public order has taken a hit down to +3, its income corruption is only 2% worse off under Elric. Whereas the Fens, however, have gone from -11 to -5 under Hingwar. With 2 buildings on the way, a church and a garrison that will take them down to -2, Hingwar's mighty 7 zeal has massively helped stabilise the entire province. He is also doubly useful in the fact that his traits help with sieges as a frontline town, as well as boosting church and industry buildings. We need to remember that characters as governors or generals carry with them traits that affect a province as a whole, like an edict. Here, even though I am King Bard of Dublin and Ireland, Northumbria have saw fit to reach out and ask me for a declaration of friendship. Ha! English dogs. I have counter-offered them for the privilege and demanded payment for such a request. They only wish to leverage me being the third most powerful nation on the map in this scenario, and protect themselves for when I inevitably invade mainland Britannia. They refuse my counter-offer. If we jump back to our political relations map, just as always, your strength rank, regions owned, and other nations' attitude towards you is represented in the politics bar. My southern neighbours, the Legan, are on neutral terms with me, aka yellow face. When I offer them friendship, the proposal is seen as excessive, meaning I could actually get away with asking for a lot more. As Dublin get a bonus to their tribute faction ability for leveraging political payments, I ask for 700 gold, turning this particular declaration into a bit of a golden handshake, which they gladly accept. As we look around the rest of the map, it's always good to consider other factions' attitudes towards you, as well as whether you share any neutral enemies or allies, both of which could be useful in engineering political actions later on. Here, the Thethraforth have made enemies with everyone in Ireland other than me. They're desperate, so not only will I demand their declaration of friendship and seize the opportunity for 700 gold, but I'll also commit their last army to marching north and helping me finish off my conquest of the Osraig lands as I push south and blanket around my allies, the Legan. The Legan, seeing I've begun my deconstruction of the Osraig, have now came to me, offering further tribute and proposing a defensive pact to further strengthen our alliance, building on our declaration of friendship some terms before. Declarations of friendship can be highly useful when done early on in the game with the right people, so always remember to take in the political landscape in such a delicate and fragile period.